Changing station. The most practical changing station is a long unit containing drawers and a cupboard. The top should be long enough to hold both the changing mat and the top and tail bowl. The drawers can be used to store nightwear, underwear and muslins, and the cupboard can hold larger items such as nappy packs. Wardrobe. A fitted wardrobe is a very good investment for your nursery as it enables you to keep the baby's clothes tidy and crease-free, and it will also provide valuable storage space for the many pieces of equipment that you will accumulate. If a fitted wardrobe is out of the question, try to purchase a freestanding version. Chair. It is essential, no matter how small your baby's room is, that you try to fit in a chair. A really sturdy, comfortable chair is an absolute priority. A small two-seater bed settee is a good choice, as it can be used for both feeding and for sleeping in the baby's room. If space is limited, then choose a chair with a straight back. It should be wide enough to allow room for you and your baby as he grows, and ideally the arms should be wide enough to support you while breastfeeding. I would resist the temptation to buy a rocking chair, which is often sold as a nursing chair. These can prove to be dangerous as the baby becomes more mobile and may attempt to pull himself up by holding out onto the chair. In the early days, it can also be tempting to settle your baby by rocking him to sleep, but this is one of the main causes of a baby developing poor sleeping habits. Curtains. Curtains should be full length and fully lined with blackout lining. Fix them to a track that fits flush along the top of the window. Ideally, they should have a deep matching pelmet, which is also lined with blackout lining. There should be no gaps between the sides of the curtains and the window frame. Even the smallest chink of light can be enough to wake your babies earlier than 7 a.m. For the same reason, curtain poles should always be avoided as the light streams through the gap at the top. As your baby gets older, he may not settle back to sleep if woken at 5 a.m. by early morning sun in the summer or street lights. When the lights are off and the curtains are closed, it should be so dark that you are unable to see your partner standing at the other side of the room. Research has also shown that the chemicals in the brain alter in the dark, conditioning the body for sleep. Carpeting. A fully fitted carpet is preferable to rugs, which have the potential for tripping on when you are attending to your baby in dim light. Choose a carpet that is treated with stain guard and avoid very dark or bright colours, as they tend to show the dirt more easily. Lighting. If the main light in the nursery is not already fitted with a dimmer switch, it would be worthwhile changing it. In the early days, dimming the lights when settling the baby is a good association signal. If you are on a limited budget, purchase one of the small plug-in night lights that fit into any normal 13-amp electrical socket. Baby equipment. Moses basket or small crib. As I mentioned earlier, a Moses basket is not really essential. Even the cheapest Moses baskets and a stand can cost over £50, which is quite a lot of money for something unessential that your baby will outgrow within 6 weeks. However, if you live in a big house or plan to travel in the first few weeks, it may be useful. If your budget is limited, try to borrow one from a friend and buy a new mattress. A crib is a small version of a big cot. Certainly it is longer than a Moses basket, but not really any more practical. Because we now put our babies to sleep on their backs, these narrow cribs create a problem for small babies. They can wake themselves up several times at night because the cribs are not wide enough for them to sleep with their arms stretched out fully, and they get their hands caught between the spars. If you do decide to use either of the above for a short period, you will need the following bedding. 3 fixed stretch cotton bottom sheets. Choose the soft, smooth jersey type cotton. 6 smooth cotton flat pram sheets to be used as top sheets and later as drawer sheets on the big cot. 4 cotton cellular close weave pram blankets. A dozen muslins to be placed across the top of the basket or crib to catch dribbles. Pram. The traditional pram is very expensive and not really appropriate to modern day living. Most parents find it more practical to choose one of the other smaller types of transport available now. When choosing a pram, carry cot or buggy, it is important to take into consideration where you live and your lifestyle. For example, if you have to drive to the nearest shops, it is important to choose a buggy that is easy to put up and down and not too heavy for constant lifting in and out of the car boot. There are now some very lightweight buggies on the market that recline flat for a newborn baby and come with hood and apron to give the baby some protection in cold weather. Another popular choice with parents is a 3-in-1, which is a transporter that can be used with a carry cot in the early days and later with a buggy seat type seat. This can be a very good choice if you live in a quieter area and can walk to the local shops. The third choice is a heavier weight version of the light buggy. It also reclines flat for a newborn and usually comes with a mattress. If you are likely to be using your pram or buggy in a town area or in shops with narrow spaces, for example, aisles in supermarkets, swivel wheels are a godsend. They make turning the buggy or pram round corners effortless compared to those with set wheels. Whichever type you choose, you should practice putting it up and down several times and try lifting it onto a surface in the shop to get an idea of how easy it is going to be to lift into the boot. The following guidelines should be followed when purchasing a pram, carry cot or buggy. It should be fitted with good strong safety straps that go over the baby's shoulders as well as round the waist and have an easy to operate brake. Make sure it has a hood and apron to protect the baby in colder weather. Buy all the extras at the same time: sun canopy, rain cover, cozy toes cover, head support cushion and shopping tray or bag. Models often change in design and sometimes dimension, and if you wait till the following season, the items you require might not fit or match. Try pushing it around the shop to check if the handle height is a comfortable level. Also observe how easy it is to get in and out of doorways and round corners. Car seat. You will need to have a car seat to bring your baby home from hospital. The midwife often accompanies parents to the car to check that all is in order as mother and baby are discharged. A baby car seat should always be used, even on short journeys. Never be tempted to travel holding your baby in your arms, as in the event of a collision or emergency stop, it would be impossible to keep hold of your baby. Car seats should not be fitted to the front passenger seat if the car has airbags, unless these have been adequately disabled. In general, choose the best you can afford, and preferably ones that come with clear fitting instructions. Other things to look for include a seat with large side wings, which offer more protection in a side impact collision, a one-pull harness, which will make it much easier to adjust the seat to your baby's clothing. The buckle should be easy to open and close, but not easy enough for a child to open. The availability of extra accessories such as head support, pillow or replacement cover. Baby bath. A baby bath is another item that is not essential. Like the Moses basket, babies outgrow the small bath very quickly. A newborn baby can be bathed in the hand basin to begin with, or even in a big bathtub, using one of the several types of bath seats that are available for tiny babies. These allow the baby to lie supported and on a slight slope, leaving the mother with both hands free to wash the baby. If you would feel more confident with a special baby bath, the one I would recommend is designed to fit across a big bathtub. It makes filling and emptying much easier, unlike the traditional baby bath that sits on a stand and has to be filled and emptied using a bucket. Another design is a bath that is incorporated in a changing station. I have found these totally impractical because as you lift the baby out of the bath, you have to maneuver the lid, which doubles as the changing table, down over the top of the bath before you can put the baby on it to dry and dress him. They are also very difficult to empty. I found I always had to tip the whole thing on its side to drain the water out completely. This usually ended up with all the items stored below toppling out onto the floor. These bath changing stations are very expensive and I would discourage anyone from buying them. Changing mat. It is worthwhile buying 2 changing mats. Choose easy clean plastic with well padded sides. In the early days, it is best to lay a hand towel on the top, as very young babies hate to be laid down on anything cold. Baby monitor. This is an important piece of equipment, so don't skimp when buying it. There are generally two types to choose from, plug-in and mobile. But I would advise you to look at the mobile version, which allows you to move freely around the house, including areas such as the bathroom, which does not have an electrical socket for the plug-in version. When choosing a baby monitor, look for the following features: a visual light display as well as sound, which allows you to monitor your baby even with the volume turned down. Monitors work using radio channels, so choose a model with 2 channels, which allows you to switch channels if there is interference. A rechargeable model is more expensive initially, but the saving on batteries will make it cheaper in the long run. A low battery indicator and an out-of-range indicator. Baby sling. Some parents swear by this method of moving around with their babies. I never use one, as I find it too big a strain on my back to carry a baby around like this for any length of time. Very small babies are also inclined to go straight to sleep the minute you hold them close to your chest, which defeats the whole purpose of my routines, that is, keeping the baby awake at certain times of the day and teaching the baby the right associations of going to sleep on its own. I do think that as babies get bigger, slings are a very useful way for parents to carry them around, especially when the baby is old enough to face forward. If you feel a sling would be useful, here are some guidelines to observe when choosing one. The sling must have safety tabs to ensure it cannot come undone. It must provide your baby with enough head and neck support. Some come with a detachable cushion that gives extra support for very young babies. It should offer the choice of baby facing in or outwards and have a seat with an adjustable height position. It should be made of strong, washable fabric with comfortable padded shoulder straps. I would certainly recommend trying it on in the shop and putting a baby into it. One size does not fit all. Baby chair. While many parents use the car seat in the house for their baby to sit in during the day, if your budget will stretch to it, having a second seat for your baby can be a great bonus, as it saves having to move seats from room to room. Baby seats come in different styles. Some chairs are rigid with adjustable seat positions and a base that can either remain stable or be set to rocking mode. Another type is known as a bouncy chair. This type is made of a lightweight frame covered in fabric and is designed to bounce as the baby moves. I have found them to be very popular with babies over 2 months, but they can make tiny babies feel insecure. Whatever type of chair you choose, make sure your baby is securely strapped in and never leave it unattended. Also, always place the baby on the floor when in a seat. Never be tempted to leave him on the table or worktop, as the movement of a baby can easily shift the chair to the edge. Here are some further guidelines. The frame and a base should be firm and sturdy and fitted with a strong safety strap. Choose one with an easily removable and washable cover. Buy a head support cushion for tiny babies. Playpen. Playpens are frowned upon by some baby experts who feel they hinder a baby's natural instinct to explore. My own feeling is that while babies should never be left for long periods in a playpen, they can be very useful for ensuring your child is safe when you are preparing lunch or need to answer the door. If you do decide to use a playpen, I would recommend getting your baby used to it from a young age. A travel cot can be used as a playpen, but if you have the space, I would recommend the square wooden type, which is larger and would enable your baby to pull himself up and move around. Whichever sort you choose, make sure it is situated out of reach of hazards such as radiators, curtains and trailing flexes. Never hang toys on pieces of string or cord in the playpen, as these could prove fatal if your baby were to get tangled up. Important points to look for when choosing a playpen are: make sure it has a fixed floor so that your baby cannot move it. Check that there are no sharp metal hinges or catches on which your baby could harm himself. If choosing a mesh type playpen or travel cot, make sure that the mesh is strong enough to prevent your baby pushing small toys through and making a hole big enough to trap his hand or fingers.